Good evening.
Good evening.
Oh, go ahead, Fred.
Hey, Doug. Let's start with maybe Keegan's extension. Just what has he meant to this organization over the past couple of years he's been here, and how happy are you to take care of a man like him?
You know, I can't speak on anything that isn't obviously totally done, but I think you guys know how I feel about Keegan. Incredibly versatile player. Love him as a person. Ever since just watching him grow up as a young man and watching his game continue to blossom from the time I took over, just trying to put, air underneath his wings and let him know that he's highly valued, and we truly, truly appreciate him here. So I'll speak on Keegan. I won't speak about that.
Well, is it possible that you can speak on Russell Westbrook as a player?
As a player, been a Russell Westbrook fan for a long time. Even when I was on radio, I used to take a lot of hits because people would call in and they would be saying whatever, and I was like, you guys just don't understand basketball. His numbers and the things that he's been able to do in this league, I think, speak for themselves. A Hall-of-Famer. And one of the greatest attributes when I watch him is the intensity at which he plays with and the effort and what he brings to the game. I truly appreciate it. So to Russell as a player, until that,
Doug, you've been speaking over the past couple of days about what to do about Keegan's spot with the injury that he's dealing with, how the last two practices gone with getting information about that, and how important it is tonight to get some game action behind him.
I think the last part of that question is probably the biggest. You can do a lot of different things, half speed, you can do them in practice, you can do a lot of different stuff. But in game reps, there's nothing that changes that on top of how your opponent attacks you. There's a lot of different aspects that we have to watch. So that will probably be the one position that we're working on as we go. Your main guy's out, so I think we all know that, but these reps are mightily important for us.
Doug, two-part question. Felt like Yeet and the rest of the starters from the previous game started second half after Keegan injury. Is that how you want to start tonight's game as well?
Not sure yet. That's usually the guy that asks that kind of question. He just walks in. So don't ask the question because he just did. So sorry. No, I'm not sure. We're gonna look at it, and even to this moment now, we're not 100% sure. So we'll see.
And then just following up on the fact that this is the last week of the preseason, you get a chance to see this Clippers roster and what they have from a personal standpoint. Like, how do you look at this as an opportunity for your team to work on some things, given that they look a whole lot different than the team that you practice with on a regular basis right now?
Yeah, live game reps, there's nothing that you can do to get those. You can scrimmage and practice a full game with chairs out and bring refs in. It's not live reps. So for us, the timing of plays, the efficiency of plays, transition defense. There's so many different aspects to, when you put something new in, whether it's offensively or defensively, and you try it, you want to get it on film. You see it in practice, you see how it looks in practice, but then you want to see it in the game. That goes with ATOs, everything. So all of these games, people are like, oh, the preseason. There's a lot of the preseason that is really beneficial. Yeah.
Doug, you have a week, and it kind of feels like 52 card pickup just happened. How do you piece all of this together? The missing players, the players that might be coming in or might not be coming in, but on scrambling with a week to go.
You played, somebody got you on 52 card pickup, bro?
I played a lot of cards.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't never fall for that one. No, it doesn't really feel like that. Maybe from the outside looking in, adversity is a good thing. It's not bad. It's going to teach us about other people as well. It's like, are we not happy that Keegan went down? Yeah, of course. He's one of our main guys. But we have to find our rhythm in there. So is there some of that scrambling? Yeah, it's natural, especially at a position with a young player that, he's gonna play a lot of minutes. So now you kind of have to figure out how you're gonna, is it small, is it big, is it, this guy, that guy? Those are the things that we'll find out in game. But, there's no panic. It's part of our business. If you've been around this business for a long time, you think that you've seen everything until you've seen the next thing.
Doug, you talked about 85%, kind of you wanting that to be the number of picking up. A little bit of these couple days in practice, it seems like maybe you guys are maybe moving more into being a little more opportunistic with those opportunities. Or do you still want to see that 85%, or do you think that's can be a little more fluid?
In whatever it is that is required, 85% is the number. So if we're being opportunistic, are we taking advantage of those opportunities? That's the number, is 85%. And whatever that 100% is, that is for us to judge. But yeah, they need to make sure that people are feeling us and we're picking up and getting after people. But we have to be smart at the same time. We understand that.
Doug, kind of a two-part question for you. First, how would you rate where you're at defensively at this juncture of training camp? And second, does what the Clippers did with Jeff Van Gundy last year and with largely the same roster being able to make the defensive turnaround that they did kind of give a little credence to what you're trying to accomplish here?
To answer the second part first, yeah, but you have to all buy into that. And I will say, looking at their roster across the board, they definitely did. There was aggressive nature to what I watched whenever we played them, to running through pockets in pick and rolls, like literally running through the pocket. That is super, super aggressive. But yeah, first and foremost, it's not really about all the X's and O's of defense. Defense is about effort. It's about willingness to compete at a high level. It's about fighting, what goes on in your brain when you start to get fatigued and all those things. So we have to change that first and foremost before we start worrying about who was on the first pass. Did we sink? Did we feel? Were we up to touch? Like, those are things that obviously go along with that. But defense is it's a vibe. It's not easy. That's why you're always hearing about it, because it's not something that's easy, but it's damn doable. That's for sure. Where we're at, we still have a ways to go. The consistency, I see it from time to time, so I know it's possible. I joke about, like, showing your kid and they make their bed, and then it's like, I know you can do it. You just show me you can do it. Now, will you do it every day? And that is something that is required to win. It is a requirement of winning, and winning is not easy. And that's why everybody doesn't do that. So we're not there. It's a work in progress, but the one thing that we're not going to stop doing is working at it and heading towards our North Star of all the things that you've heard Scott and myself talk about when it comes to what it is to be a King, and definitely our identity on the defensive side of the ball.
What's up, Coach?
What's up?
You talked about having the guys make plays as opposed to running plays. What does progress look like tonight in terms of that evolution and getting to that conceptual style of basketball?
Good question, but I would say that, like, you come down and there's fast break, right? That's one thing. But really, when you think about what I'm talking about, it's like the game, you just took the ball out, it's a dead ball, you bring it up the floor and you hear a play, you run the play. And the play doesn't work. And that happens a lot. What do you do then? Do you see someone flying into the ball and flying out? The ball is swung and people are moving, and the ball is moving at a high rate of speed. And you are trying to not ISO, you're not trying to make the play, and you look up and there's 16 on the clock. That happens around 8 and less. And those guys get paid to make those shots, and we got some of those guys. But in those moments prior to that, to your point, Mark, we want to go screen, we want to set screen and roll, move the basketball, change sides of the floor, cut, fade on the backside of a pick and roll. All those things have to happen.
Hey Doug, you've talked about maybe going matchup based a little bit as you kind of navigate this thing without Keegan. How much does that come into play tonight against a team like the Clippers with their size? Is that going to dictate a little bit of what you do tonight?
It could. It could, Jason. It just well could. What do you think about that, buddy? Where were you, man? You were late.
My watch was, you were early, were you early?
Listen, man, listen. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, there's a 4-letter word.
Actually, six late. All right, guys, appreciate y'all.